The situation remains quite tense and fluid between the United States and Venezuela. As we track all the developments, the question is, for how long have the United States been planning this move against Venezuela? But what is clear is that the Trump administration had been laying the groundwork for this moment for a long time. Let's take a look at all the strikes conducted by the Americans on Venezuela to date. The United States has carried out more than 30 strikes on vessels to date. The escalation began with a U.S. strike on a Venezuelan boat on September 2nd in international waters. The first strike killed at least 11 people. Trump claimed that the individuals were members of Tren de Aragua, a gang that the Trump administration has designated a terrorist organization. The tempo increased quickly on September 15th. Just as Venezuela was still absorbing the impact of the initial attack, Trump announced another U.S. strike. That attack killed 3 people who Trump described as extraordinarily violent drug trafficking cartels and narco-terrorists. The third attack followed a few days later in the Caribbean Sea on September 19th, days after the Dominican Republic said it had recovered cocaine from a boat recently destroyed in a U.S. airstrike. But it did not specify when the strike happened. On October 3rd, U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth announced a U.S. military strike killed 4 men on a boat in international waters near Venezuela. From October 14th onwards, the U.S. campaign rapidly expanded in pace, geography, and intensity. Just days later, on October 16th, American forces struck a suspected semi-submersible drug vessel, killing 2 people and briefly detaining survivors. This marked the first time the U.S. held prisoners during what President Trump framed as a military campaign. On October 17th, another strike killed 3 people on a boat, and by October 21st and 22nd, the operation widened beyond the Caribbean into the Eastern Pacific. The multiple strikes killing at least 5 more people in less than 24 hours, the tempo continued to rise through late October, including a deadly October 27th series of strikes that killed 15 people in a single day. Through November, the Trump administration pressed ahead almost daily, announcing repeated strikes in both the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific. The deployment of the aircraft carrier USS Gerald Ford and thousands of additional U.S. troops signaled the scale of the buildup. By December, despite mounting scrutiny from U.S. lawmakers and regional governments, the strikes continued unabated. Repeated strikes were conducted on vessels which Washington claimed were linked to designated terrorist organizations and drug trafficking routes. The last strike that America conducted before these latest explosions in Caracas was on New Year's Eve. On December 31st, Hegseth announced the attack on 2 vessels in the Caribbean. The continuous strikes on the vessels have killed more than 100 people so far, and the Trump administration now says it has captured Nicolas Maduro himself. This has cemented what has become a sustained and unprecedented U.S. military campaign across Latin American waters.